Too much ice. See, gardeners can take care of ice. Thank you. Farm tools are still quite effective. Way too much ice. Alright, so what can we do about it? We can abolish ICE, step number one, but acknowledging that the Democratic Party may not be in a position to do that until 2028, when hopefully we have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It should be something we do the first week. Once we do abolish ICE, what we should do is take the money and temporarily give it to other police agencies. The U.S. has plenty to handle the functions that, ICE was doing in some regards, but which these police agencies are already doing. The DEA already is investigating, drug cartels and some other functions that, I think are a little bit wasteful, but they are doing that. The U.S. Marshals are already responsible for finding, hunting down escaped detainees, so they can do that. And, Border Patrol is already supposed to handle the border. Speaking of Border Patrol, we should restrict their authority. Right now, they have authority to operate within 100 miles of the border. And the border is kind of loose. It's the Canadian border, our northern border. It's also the Mexican border. Also, the waters around our territories. And also, just waters around the U.S. So, Florida has some weird, gray areas about, where do our borders stop? So we should restrict it to at least 25 miles. That would give them enough authority to go out and help people that are stranded in the desert on the Mexican side of the border, or in that gray area in between, and allow them to, go into border towns. And eventually we may have to think about restricting that even further, and maybe in some places, like, if there's a mountain range in between, maybe we can loosen it up a little bit. But immigration just really isn't the problem that Republicans claim it is. Something else we can use that money for is hiring more immigration judges, having more high-tech scanners at the border, and make sure that, weapons and explosives and such aren't coming into the country, drugs, if you care about that. And also what we can do in the short term, some of the stuff is kind of silly, but we should insist on it anyways. Silly as in it's such a low bar, and it's going to not change a whole lot. Like, I'm not for putting more money into training for ICE because I don't think that's a problem. I think we're getting the results that Trump wanted to get. He had a bunch of Proud Boys and such join, and this is what he wants. But we can put some money into tracking these people, so that once we're in power, we can easily root them out. And I don't want to just abolish ICE and then these people go and join a local police department or Border Patrol or some other homeland department. No, we need to make sure that these people can't get jobs in government again, and we should prosecute them. We should also impeach and prosecute the relevant people. That's Tom Holman, that's Stephen Miller, that's Donald Trump, J.D. Vance. And that might sound ambitious, but, there are the people in charge, and they are the people who are pushing for this and putting pressure on them. Christine Holm, if she's still there. Putting pressure on them is what we should be doing. And we can do that after the midterms, assuming we win and can do investigations and stuff. That's what we're going to have to do in the short term. We should insist on body cameras, even though, again, it's a low bar and they're committing felonies that they are proudly recording. So I don't think that's actually going to stop anything. So abolishment is the solution. But in the short term, documenting those things and reducing their authority and tracking the actual people is a good first step. There are some other things we can do at the outer levels around funding, but they did get quite a lot of money in the big beautiful bill, and so restricting their funding now, they still have enough to operate through the rest of Donald Trump's term. We can claw back that money once we have, the numbers in the House and the Senate, assuming we have the numbers in the House and Senate. So we should do that as soon as we can. And Democrats kind of have to stiffen up and grow a spine. But that's what we should do. Fight on all aspects of it. Make sure that people, in the back of the room heard us, because some of us said that we should abolish ICE, in 2017, 2018, some even sooner than that. Some people thought that it was a bad idea to begin with. Personally, I was too young to be paying attention to the formation of ICE, after 9/11. But I did pay attention. There was a Frontline special, PBS special, about how President Obama was asserting that he couldn't really control ICE. They were, arresting people even when we told them not to, dreamers and their parents, and just raiding places that they didn't actually get permission or authority for. And they're routinely ignoring judges' orders to not do illegal shit. So, there's no reform that can help ICE. You need to abolish them. They have a duplicate of functions anyway, and so it's just a waste of money. Anything that they are doing other than the fascism has already been done by other police departments, and the fascism has also been done by some police departments as well. So why not just get rid of it? We will probably also always need customs officers in some capacity, even if they aren't, walking around with drug sniffing dogs and guns, 200 years from now. We will probably also have, armed guards at the border, even though, better relationships with Mexico would probably reduce the need for that, for being honest. If Mexico's thriving and prospering and we have a pretty porous border where we can go there and they can come here, which is what, to some extent both countries aim to do, that would save us so much money and time, and we can go vacation in Mexico whenever we want. And if you live in Texas or Arizona and you just want to walk across the border, sometimes you can already do that, but in these heightened political climates, it just doesn't feel safe. Border Patrol regularly shoots people on the other side of the border, and it just goes uninvestigated. So long version has been said. Short version: abolish ICE.